What's next for the Minnesota Timberwolves? They just got bounced for the second consecutive season in 5 games in the Western Conference Finals, so no, this team doesn't need to be blown up. It needs to be severely retooled, however. They have a couple of big-time impending free agents with Julius Randle, who probably declines his player option. Reid will definitely decline his, and then Nickeil Walker is going to hit the open market. Luckily, they have a good young core of guys like Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr., Jalen Clark, all played good when asked to play last year. They have a couple of good picks at 17 and 31, and then they also could do some reshuffling with this roster because Rudy Gobert is owed big time money. Mike Conley's owed about $11 million. They could probably look to move on from him. So we're going to look at all this and more in today's video. Make sure you stick around till the end. First things first, you have to reassess this roster and commit to building around your megastar, Anthony Edwards, who has been to the Western Conference Finals twice at just the age of 23. He is the future of this organization. There is no denying that. He's coming off of a season where he averaged 27.6 points a game, 5th in the NBA, 5.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.2 steals in 36 minutes a game, and is one of the best scorers in the league. He can also play some defense. He shot 45% from the field and 40% from 3 on 10.3 attempts. However, his pull-up jumper kind of went away come postseason. He's a 3-level weapon that can score from all 3 areas of the court. And while, yes, the jumper did go away in the playoffs, he was exceptional. Second to only Stephen Curry in the regular season when it came to scoring the ball. So how do you build a team around him? You've right now got no cap space. You're a little bit above the first apron and well above the second apron. You have 2 essentially first-round picks, and I think you run it back with Julius Randle. I think Randle and Anthony Edwards were a solid duo. They just ran into a juggernaut that was the Oklahoma City Thunder. Randle averaged 18.7 points, 7.1 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 0.7 steals this year, and he provides them with a second ISO scorer that can get buckets and elevate the offense when Anthony Edwards is not in there, especially from the mid-range. He can also get out and run in transition. I think Randle is a guy that you got to keep around for quite some time. He can also knock down the 3-ball. He showed that especially in the playoffs, especially in the first couple of series where he was really good. 49% shooting from the field, 34% from 3 on the year. And prior to the Western Conference Finals, this team was 25-6 since Julius's return from injury. That's how vital he is for this team. He's got a $30.3 million player option, which pretty much everybody is in agreement that he will decline that and hit the open market. But a lot of people are saying, yes, he will return to Minnesota. He's projected for a 4-year, $194 million deal, which is a lot of money to throw at Julius Randle, but keep in mind, the NBA salary cap is going up at a rapid rate. It went up $14 million this offseason alone. Taking a look at the other free agents for the Minnesota Timberwolves, you got to choose here. And I think you choose Reid over Nickeil Walker. Reid, you traded Karl Towns last year. You can't punt on both of them. He's got a $15 million player option that he is pretty much guaranteed to decline. He will be hitting the open market, and he will be very sought after. There's a lot of teams that would love to have Reid coming off of a year where he averaged 14.2 points, 6 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and a block in 27.5 minutes per game. He did that on great splits, 46% shooting from the field and 38% from 3 on 6 attempts. He's a guy that you've got to keep him around if you're Minnesota. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You give him a blank check and you tell him to fill it in. 18.6 points per game per 36 minutes. Remember, he was a bench piece this year. I think it's time they finally move him up into the starting lineup. He's going to be getting big money, but you play him alongside of Julius Randle because, yes, he can space the floor. He can play on the perimeter, whereas Rudy Gobert can't. I think that's the move you make. Nickeil Walker, it's going to be sad seeing him go. He's developed into a really, really nice wing and role player in the modern NBA, but he's an unrestricted free agent. He will be hitting the open market, and there's a lot of teams like my Hornets that would love to have Nickeil Walker on their team, a guy that just put up 12 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2.6 assists in 24 minutes per game in the Western Conference Finals, and he did so on 43% shooting from the field and 41% from 3. Had a couple of 20-point games. Nickeil is going to be very solid after. There's no way on earth that the Wolves can bring them both back without absolutely breaking the bank, and I think it'll be fine if you let Nickeil walk because you got somebody waiting in the wings. You drafted extremely well last year. In my opinion, you won the draft, and you have Terrence Shannon Jr., who you were able to snag at the end of the first round, who proved in the Western Conference Finals this year that he belonged. He averaged 9.3 points and 1.3 rebounds while appearing in all 5 games, shooting 52% from the field and 38% from 3, while only averaging 9.7 minutes per game. per 36, he averaged 34 and 5, which obviously if you throw him out there for 36 minutes a game, he's not going to get that. But he was extremely efficient when it comes to scoring in the minutes that he got. He just absolutely fills it up from wherever he is on the court. I was a big fan of him coming out of Illinois, and that's a money-saving move, as well as these could be money-saving moves as well. Rudy Gobert, if I was Minnesota's GM, he'd probably be on the way out. He'll be 33 next year, and he did a whole lot of nothing this year in the Western Conference Finals. Maybe that's a little bit harsh, but you take a look at the numbers and tell me what you think. 5.8 points and 6.6 rebounds for a guy that's about to be making about $38 million a year. The rest of his contract is 3 years, $111 million. You got to find somewhere else to send him. I just don't know if there is anywhere to send him. You might just have to eat that contract for a couple of years, which would really stink and would really limit the window that you have to win championships now with Anthony Edwards before, he turns 28, 29, which again, you have plenty of time, but I think Rudy's got to be on the way out, and I think Mike Conley. That's a money-saving move. He's on an expiring deal. He'll be 38 next year. And again, in the Western Conference Finals, he did a whole lot of nothing. 4.4 points, 2.4 assists, and 2.2 rebounds. He's the vet on this team, but still, in a world where you need every penny you can get, saving $11 million and putting it towards a Julius Randle or a Naz Reid contract would definitely help and be more beneficial than spending it on Mike Conley, in my opinion. And once again, because you drafted very well last year, you have another guy that's waiting in the wings named Rob Dillingham that is ready to come in and contribute from day one. Well, day one would have been last year, but from day one next season in his sophomore year. His rookie year, he played in 49 games, averaged 4.5 points, 2 assists, a rebound, and 10.5 minutes per game, and showed some flashes, like right here against Utah. He's one of the best finishers in the rookie class last year, can shoot the 3 ball, and can also get to his spots. You add another dynamic scoring wing to Anthony Edwards. Yes, Edwards is going to have to pick up the slack a little bit on defense because you're going to have to hide Rob Dillingham because he's like 170 pounds, but you go and find me clips of Mike Conley clamping people up, and we'll have to agree to disagree. And speaking of clamps, Jalen Clark just magically shows up on the screen. Last year, he averaged 4.1 points per game, 1.7 assists, 1.3 steals in 13 minutes as a piece of this young core that includes himself, Dillingham, Shannon, and he also shot 47% from the field and 43% from 3. Take it with a grain of salt, though, because it's on 1.3 attempts. But at 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan, he's a guy that can be a point of attack defender playing next to Anthony Edwards or Rob Dillingham, wherever you fit him into the lineup. Speaking of point of attack defenders, Jaden McDaniels will most certainly be back next year, and Dante DiVincenzo's on a very good value contract for a guy like him. I think he will be back as well. Those are the 3, along with Anthony Edwards, that'll definitely be back. Looking at what the lineup could look like next year, I think you plug Dillingham in, you plug Naz Reid in, and you're ready to roll. If you included Reid Alexander Walker into this lineup, it was your best lineup last year. Plug and play Rob Dillingham because he can play the point, and I think you're just fine, if not better than this year, and you're going to be saving money against the luxury tax. You have these 3 wings coming off the bench, so go out and get a point guard in free agency, and go out and get a big in free agency, or in the draft, because you have picks 17 and picks 31. So that's what you need to use it on. And if you want to see a full video of who I think the Timberwolves should go out and get in the draft and through the trade market, make sure, let's get 500 likes on today's video. With that being said, thank you so much for watching.